Well, there should be a chance of a wave, so I'm all loaded up and let's get down the coast. Right, I'm gonna head and grab a quick wave. I haven't surfed in I don't know, 2 weeks, I suppose. I'm guessing. I can't remember the last time I went. So I'm really desperate to get in. It should be a good little size. There's not much wind and there is a little bit of sun out there. Very cold this morning. About 2 to 3 it was showing on the car on the school run. I've done all my chores at home. I've got a coat of varnish on a custom order stick. Just really rushed to get this happen. I've got to get back because I've got to take the wife into Callington, and she's struggling to drive at the moment. And good news is I've just had a letter from the hospital. I've got a pre-op for my eye, so that's good news. And also I got a church sale for my sticks to do this weekend. I've got to start getting stuff ready for that. So yeah, a lot to do, a lot to make happen. And yeah, I don't really have time to do a surf, and it's going to be a very quick 40-minute, an hour one, but I'm determined to make it happen. Well, I've had a really good surf. I really needed that, and as per usual, that board performed outstandingly, and I got pretty much every wave I wanted, so I'm well chuffed. I'm glad I stepped up to it. I was kind of thinking it was holding me back, but I'm realising now I've just got to adapt to this style of riding or surfing, and I'm really loving it now. So yeah, really enjoyed that surf. So this board is like 9 feet 6 inches long, so it's not what you would call a true glider. They usually start at around 10 feet, but it's got a very parallel rail line, not oval or where it comes back into the hips down to the tail block. It funnels down. It's quite parallel along the whole length of it. It's got a pointed front nose, so you're not nose riding like a traditional longboard. This board is built simply for paddling in, catching waves, getting up, and speed along the wave. And yeah, I can outrun most waves on this. It's just an out and out wave catching speed machine when it's up and going. All loaded up. But I'll take you down for a quick little look and we'll have a look over the cliffs. I'm looking a little bit bedraggled and not looking my best. I need a shave, clean up. The salt water has dried my skin out. I've got no moisturiser. Yeah, but I've had a fantastic surf. That's all that matters. I used to be able to find lots of little hidey holes to park in all these places, you know, 30 odd years ago, but they're all gone now. You can't avoid it, folks. You're paying for everything these days. Right, as you swing down around from the car park, you get a nice view of the sea at low tide. And it's absolutely glorious today, absolutely glorious. And yeah, folks, I've had a really good surf out there today. It is crowded, there is quite a few people, got to expect it, but there were some good vibes. There wasn't a lot of hassling for waves, and it would make no difference to other people now. I may be 55 and getting old, but on that board I can pretty much get everything I want from all those young whippersnappers out there. There's a nice set coming in there. Somebody's up and riding. There's 2 people, they've split the wave. And there's a fishing boat out there, just off the reef. No, I really don't have time to hang about. I've got to get back because I share a car, me and Jamie, and not only do we share the car, you know, I do a lot of the stuff in and around the house and home as well as everything else. So it's just the way it is. We actually got a service light come on the car, and we had it serviced in January, and Jamie was saying to me, we can't need a service already, but when you sit down and analyse it, the car's doing what I want it to do, doing what Jamie wants it to do. We're doing the school run because we don't get no transport or help to get the kids to school. It's just a rural community, that's how it is. So the car, one car, is doing everything. So yeah, we need a service, so got to book that in and get that sorted. So yeah, car sharing, you've got to sort of juggle things around to make it all work and happen between the two of us. But yeah, I've got to get off home pretty quick now. Right, I've done everything I need to at home. I've just varnished 2 sticks and they're up drying. They're custom orders, so they're not for a sale that we've got happening this weekend. So yeah, it's awkward bringing them into the house, but with varnish I get a stable temperature for it to go off. I've had too many bad results with drying with varnish in the workshop where, because the temperature fluctuates, it doesn't get an even dry, and sometimes you get that kind of like gel finish, or it gets a pearl effect if you get too much moisture coming into the workshop. So they dry better in the house. I don't do very many varnish these days, but there are still some customers that insist on varnish. Yeah, so they hang off basically the curtain, curtain pole. They're out the way, but it's just that annoyance that you do get a varnish smell there. But they're drying in any case. Last summer I picked up these canoes for free. One's in obviously worse condition than the other one. This one's not too bad, but I still to decide what to do and how to go about repairing them, or if at all I can adapt them for some other use. But that's for another day, that project. I've just had to drag them out because I've been concreting. Now I'm still drying stuff out from the weekend. It is dry, it's for me to pack it away now. Right, I've got these 4 here at the stage. They've got their copper tips on. They've had their final sanding. They just need now wood burning, and then I can apply finishes. They're quite nice ones as well. That stripped one there is heavy duty, or heavy gauge, so's that one. These are barked ones. I've got a holly one there. So I've got that to do and start wood burning those there. Now I do need to get my chainsaw all sharpened, adjusted, cleaned up and ready to go. I've got that tree stump to cut up and I'm hoping to get to that next week, but I won't have time this week. Now I've got to clean these boards off because I did use them as shuttering board for some concreting. I did actually get that one in, so I've gone all the way around there. But I've done a concrete plinth along there, and it's kind of 8 to 10 inches deep all the way along. Had to be mixed by hand. Obviously I can't get a mixer in here, and I had to bring it in bags, so it was a bit of a job. Didn't really want to do it, but yeah, could have done with a hand actually mixing while I was laying it. I had to do it in 2 sittings, do a hard footing, and then put the top coat, do it a bit more sloppy so it's kind of a bit self-leveling. It's a bit of a sad sight when I'm looking up across this field into one of the hedges. There's an apple tree. They're not eaters, but it's an apple tree nevertheless. That's just broke a large portion of it. It's just literally come down in the winds we've just had, and yeah, so it's an old apple tree. It's pretty decrepit, but it's still nice to see apples grow on it. But the cattle used to eat them, and I'm sure they used to get a little bit tipsy as it fermented in their stomachs. But yeah, half of it's broken down. Yeah, you can just see it there. It's all just come down, half of the tree, totally snapped off. There's the top of it. and you can see it all there lying across in the field. You can see the apples on it as well. It's a bit hard because the sun's on it, but yeah, whether that tree survives now or not is another thing. There's a good crop of hawthorn berries this year, I've noticed as well. Very good crop. A lot of the hawthorn trees are totally red, covered. Well, it's hedge trimming, and yeah, local farmer's out with his flail. He's been doing a lot of the hedges. He's done this one here, but yeah, I gotta wait for the leaves to come off the hedges and trees, and it'll be me stick harvesting again. So this is what you would call a perfect autumn day. You've got enough heat from the sun, and you can just detect that hint of the winter, what's to come. You get in the shadows and you can feel the temperature drop, or when you get a whiff of the wind that comes around you, you can feel that autumn's here. But stood here in the sun, it is absolutely glorious. I think I'm going to take these down the woodlands, give them a fair good walk, and that will probably be it tonight for today, because I've got some wood burning to do, as I showed you. Well, he's got a fair few bales wrapped there. Loads. I'm not sure why those haven't been wrapped. Whether they're going to be used pretty quickly, I don't know. But in any case, that's enough to get him through the winter there. It's a glorious autumn day. I've got the sun actually coming straight into my face, but I'm actually on a bit of a high point near me, and I'm going to show you how I orientate a map to the ground that I'm standing on, so that the map makes sense to what I'm looking at in front of me, and basically orientate the map to north, and from that point onwards, what the map will be representing as I look at it should be what I can see in front of me, front, back and sides. It's one of the basic map reading fundamentals. If you get this right, most of everything else can follow on from it. There is probably a beginning that really should come before this, which is looking at maps and what is actually on a map, but that's probably another video at some other point. I'm just going to show you how I orientate a map, so that it gives me a fair idea of not only where I am, but what potentially I can't see with my eye, so that I can look at it on the map and figure out, you know, which way I might want to go, or what could potentially be in front of me obstructing me or making my journey longer. So let's get straight into this. Now I've got two compasses in front of me. This one, incidentally, all the fluid is gone, so it's of no real value as a navigational aid, but it is the old military compass, and it's done in mils, and it goes to 6,400 mils, but we won't be using that. But that is what I did most of my training on. This here is the civilian, or more widely used navigational compass type, and it's done in degrees, and it a full circle was 360 degrees. This one's in good, perfect working order. There's still fluid inside the chamber there where the actual north needle points. So this one's serviceable. Right then, I'm just going to bring the north. I'm going to turn the bevel and bring the north so it sits in line with the arrow there. So get that perfectly lined up. North to the arrow there. And I'm going to bring the compass around, and you can see the north needle there is moving. And that's going to be trying to find north. If I bring it round there, so that needle is with the north of the compass and the arrow. If I look in that direction, that's north for me. So just a quick note, with compasses you don't want to be around anything metal when you're using a compass, because quite simply it works on the magnetic forces within the planet, the earth and that, so those can be disrupted if you have something metal close by. If you've got something really big, or even just a watch or something like that that's got a lot of metal, just try to remove it so that the compass has no interaction with anything metal in close proximity. And the next thing that I'll need to kind of orientate a map to the ground, so I can see, what is on the map is represented in the area that I'm stood as the ground, the lay of the land. Well, obviously I'm going to need maps. Maps come in all various guises, and obviously you need a map for the local area that you're actually working in. And for the UK, or for myself here, I'm using the OS map series, and I've got one here just as an example. Bodmin Moor OS Explorer. It gives a scale of 1 to 25, and on the back it's showing me in bright orange the area that I'm operating in, or this map covers. If I was to be going in any of the surrounding areas, I'd have to get one of the other maps to coincide with this one. But yeah, this map here, 109, is the one that I'm going to be using. Right, this map here is a lot older, and also, as you can see if you look on it, it's running at a 1 in 50, and there's the conversion as 1¼ inches to a mile, and this here says 4 centimeters to a kilometer, or 2½ inches to a mile, and this is at 125. All that becomes apparent and becomes more important as you go further into map reading, but the map will have all the information on it to allow you to navigate through the landscape that the map represents. Now, there are 3 types of north on a map. There's magnetic north, there is grid north, and then there is true north, and I'll give you a very quick and not very in-depth explanation, but just to cover it. Now, magnetic north is where the compass, which you've just seen me set, will always point to magnetic north. Now, grid north is where the lines or the squares in the sheet will actually, on the map, actually point to. It's where all those little blue lines facing up the map point to, and that would be grid north. Now, true north is where the actual North Pole is, so that's where you can find that at the very top of the map. There'll be a little indication, and that will show you all 3 different variants of north. Right, you can see the 3 different types of north on this map, and it's illustrated with magnetic north there, grid north, and true north. This map is woefully out of date. All I'm indicating here is that the map does indicate where all three of those norths actually are and what this map represents. So you need that information, and it'll give you any annual change that might be current at that time. So I'm stood here at this point. I've got my map, and yeah, I can't figure out which way this map needs to orientate for me to look around me and figure out exactly what I'm looking at on the map is represented on the ground as you see it. So I'm looking at it and I'm struggling. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to get the compass and I'm going to orientate the map. So I'm stood in this field and looking at that telegraph mast in the distance. I can see the high ground over there. I can see a very prominent sharp piece of rock and a long ridge line over there. So I've got some features I can work with, but I don't know which way I'm facing to look at it on the map. And all that high ground is to the right hand side of me at the moment. Right, I'm going to find one of these blue lines which runs all the way down the map. All I'm going to do is place my compass on it so that the leading edge will actually follow true to one of those blue lines, and the arrow would be pointing to the top of the map. So I'm getting it all aligned. There I go. I'm going to pick it up. It's a bit difficult with one hand. There's get it all set up. So that leading edge is following one of those blue lines there. So I'm going to pick the compass up and the map, turn it around, and you'll see the needle is moving in the compass. So from there, I know that is north. So I have to keep my map in that direction or thereabouts, so I can now open this map up and view the ground as I see it, with the north of the map facing in that direction. Now, like I said, I'm going to open this map out and I should be able to get a pretty good idea which way I'm looking now, and where any of the main features that can help me navigate or show me where I am roughly are in relation to me on the ground and the map. So you can see I've got it like roughly pointing north now, and those features that I was describing are now on my left hand side. So I'm facing the travel of the map and I'm getting a perspective of what I can see on the ground to the map. Here you can just see the radio mast there, and that's marked at Carradine Hill 369 in elevation there. And that is that radio mast over there. And you can see that big ridge line over there. And I'll bring that down to the map. And that there is Kilmar Tor at 390. So what I can see all along there now, I can represent that to the ground in front of me. Right, I've just got some lanyards which I'm going to cinch off on the ends, and I'm going to install those into, well, 4 hiking sticks, and I've got to clean the copper up. They're finished, they've been polished, they look really nice, and I'm off to a craft fair village sale at a place just outside of Plymouth tomorrow, so it's kind of last minute preparations for that. I've got about 15 pieces I'm taking, not a over big amount of stock, but it's enough to put us out there in the community again, and people to have a little bit of choice if they want to purchase something. So yeah, I'm getting these ready, and I'll let you have a look. Well guys, I got some bad news as to regard to one of my favourite locations to wild camp, and it's an old orchard. For a good week or so, there's been people in there managing the land, and they're not managing it with agricultural machinery. They're doing it with strimmers and lawnmowers, that type of thing. So I'm guessing somebody's using it as kind of like a hobby kind of place. So whether they're going to do anything serious like agricultural, I don't know. It's looking more to me like somebody's hobby kind of bit of land. So in any case, I won't be able to. They're there pretty much all the time or during the day at random times. So that's me not being able to use that piece of ground. I've had a good crack at the whip. I've had a good run for my money. And I believe I said when I knew it had been sold, I had to make sure I got at least 1 or 2 more camps there before I couldn't use it. So yeah, a bit sad, a bit deflated on that, but like I said, I've had a good few camps there, and I've got a raft of others. It just means that it's going to force me to use some of my other spots, which isn't a bad thing in itself. But yeah, no apples from there for myself anymore, because obviously somebody's using that land. If they're using small little power tools, they obviously are aware that that orchard comes with it. Hopefully they will keep it, but it's their apples now. So I'm going to wrap this video up. It's been a random one of random things, but hey, I just thought I'd just show you just a little bit of what I'm up to. And yeah, all that's left to be said is take care, stay safe, and hope to catch you guys on the trail. Now I usually set up further back in under the tree canopy and back towards the hedge. I'm not doing that, like I said, because I want to put up a different style of tent. I usually put a lean-to in here or put a tarp tent, but I kind of want to be a bit more out in the open, quite simply for the most light exposure, and on top of that to get away from some of these insects. And what a year it's been for biting insects. Right, and I plan to actually bring my chair just down to here and spend a little bit of time staring out over this. Right, I'm going to hit the sack and get some sleep. I don't think I can stay awake much longer. I might do a little bit of looking around on the internet just before I go to sleep. But let's get in there. Well, that was a nice little interaction with some wildlife. They pretty much come right up through the field in front of me, and they didn't even know I was here.